We're starting a new video, and this time we're not going to work inside, but outside, right by my garden shed. The sky is blue, it's warm, birds are singing, and we're using the nice weather to put siding on the shed. If you missed the shed's construction, I'll show a clip later in the video. And otherwise, in the description, you have a link. I built this shed in 7 episodes. Back then, I had salvaged some steel tubes that were headed to the dump. They were 80 by 140, so a good size. I welded everything together to make the structure, and on the outside, I covered it all with oriented strand board and white polyvinyl chloride. So the advantage of polyvinyl chloride is that it's rot-proof, you can leave it outside and it doesn't get damaged at all, but it gets dirty very quickly, especially in white. I spend my time cleaning it. So imagine a white polyvinyl chloride garden set that you leave outside for several months without any maintenance. With pollution, it will turn grey. And that's exactly what happened with the polyvinyl chloride panels I had attached to this garden shed. I spend my time cleaning and maintaining it. Some people suggest painting it, and while I could strip the polyvinyl chloride prime and paint it, the finish won't last, and I'll need to repaint every few years. So what's a better option? Should I keep maintaining it by washing it regularly, or repaint it every 2 or 3 years? There are other solutions that can last over time. So you understand I don't want to be tied to this garden shed by maintenance, painting, washing or anything else. So the solution is to cover it with siding that's guaranteed for 15 years rot-proof and will last over time. This siding has a name. It's called James Hardie VL Plank. So this is the sample I received by mail. I'll talk to you about it in a moment. And look what you find inside. A sample of James Hardie siding. It's an interlocking system. I'll take it out to show you. It comes in 6 colors. This one is grey, and for me, I'll go with the darkest black possible. White is over. I don't want it anymore. But if you want this siding in white, it does come in white, and I think it's much easier to clean than polyvinyl chloride, that's for sure. So let me show you this siding up close.
You can see the texture with the light.
It's a wood imitation, not real wood, so there's no wood shortage concern. Maintenance is easy since it doesn't need any treatment products. It won't warp like wood, it won't expand, so it's all advantages. It's fiber cement, like I said, there's no asbestos. You just fit it together, that's all there is to it. Let me show you, there you go, you see. Nail, screw, whichever you want. We'll do both methods, you'll see. In the tongue, a screw or a nail. So this board, like I said, you can screw it or you can nail it. And if you use screws, there's no need to pre-drill. You screw directly into the tongue. Ideally, you put a half batten behind it. That way, you have a screwing surface that's wide enough. Since a half batten is 60 by 40, and when it comes to installation, whether horizontal or vertical, you do as you like. Taste and color are not up for debate. And even when it comes to shades, by the way, the paint, I don't know if I told you, is also guaranteed for 15 years. And if in 15 years you want to repaint your siding, you can. For colors, you could use several, create a gradient from white to the darkest shade, or combine 2 colors, for example. White on top or grey on top and black on the bottom. You do as you like. And for cutting, it can be cut with a circular saw or a miter saw, a radial saw. But it's a specific blade with carbide teeth. James Hardie sells blades. Depending on the brand of your machine, depending on the diameter of your blade, you'll find what you need. For example, my Milwaukee saw uses a 190 diameter blade. And as we go along, you'll discover all the profiles. Ventilation grills, rodent guards, corner profiles, and finishing profiles. And before we start, an important thing for the installer craftsmen watching me, there's a promotion you shouldn't miss. James Hardie Siding can win you some gifts. We're craftsmen, we need tools, and that's perfect. The more siding you buy, the more points you accumulate, and your points can be exchanged for gifts, a runner, a circular saw, or even scaffolding. To learn more about this can't miss promotion, check the link in the description. And for individuals who want to receive their James Hardie sample for free in this beautiful box, you'll find the link in the description. Just fill in all your details and you'll receive your box in a few days. Now that we've finished, we can install our half-rafters. We'll start by cutting them, attaching them to the garden shed, installing our starter profile, placing the first board, nailing and screwing it in. We'll do both tests and then continue step by step. So if you enjoy my videos, the best way to support me is to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell to get new videos, and give a big thumbs up. You can also follow me on Instagram by subscribing. I regularly post photos and videos. So to start, we're going to cut the half-rafters, but not just at any height. Between the first row of cladding and the ground, I'm supposed to leave 15 cm for ventilation. It's really a recommendation. And between the roof overhang and the half-rafter, I have to leave 2 cm. So 2 cm plus 15 makes 17 minus the height I need. I get 2.33 meters. So 2.33 meters, that works perfectly for me, knowing, and this is really just by chance, I didn't know that one day when building this cabin, I would be putting cladding on it. The board is 18 cm, not counting the tongue, so 18 cm I can install 13 full rows and I get 2.34 meters. So 2.34 meters, 2.33 meters. We're not worried about 1 centimeter. I'll scrape some gravel to get my 15 centimeters of ventilation and we're good. I've installed the stop, we cut the half rafters, we place them vertically, and then the cladding goes on horizontally. Subtitles, Société Radio-Canada. Okay, let's do a quick check before we continue. For now, at ground level, I've installed the ventilation grill. You see it's perforated, which also serves as a rodent guard. So, screw directly with the screws provided by James Hardie. Then I installed the half rafters, making sure they're perfectly vertical. When you buy them, check with your eye to make sure they're straight, otherwise installation will be complicated. The advantage of the half rafter is that it's the same thickness as the grill, so it sits flush. The other advantage of the half rafter is that I have a good surface to attach my siding to. It's 60 by 40. So, my siding will cover the half rafter by 3 cm, then I'll add another board. Using the half rafter has only benefits. So, you saw that I put down polyvinyl chloride scraps that are 2 mm thick, the same thickness as the polyvinyl chloride I used before, to make frames for aesthetic purposes and to cover the overlap of the polyvinyl chloride sheets. This way, it goes behind the half rafters and there's no difference between them. So now, I just have to install the waterproof strip provided by James Hardie. The reference is here. You'll find the link in the description. The goal is to reopen. Cover all the half rafters and we're going to staple this strip with the Milwaukee electric stapler. That way I don't make things complicated for myself. You press and it staples by itself. So the staples are a bit big. They're 10 mm. I think 6 mm would be more than enough, but I don't have any. Honestly, this little stapler works by itself, you see, and that way you don't strain your forearm. So let's go. We put this strip down and then we'll be able to install the rodent proof mesh and the ventilation grid on top. Half rafters.
Let's go.
Here we go.
Here we go. Here we go.
The profile in the corner is fixed, it goes all the way up, it sticks out by 1 centimeter, and at the bottom it also sticks out by 1 centimeter. Since my starter rail to receive the cladding will come to the base of the half rafters, and when I fit my board in, it will come flush with the corner profile. So the corner profile, this is what it looks like when viewed from above. You can fit a board on each side. You see, if I remove the board, there you go, it fits in, and on the other side as well. Well, here I put in a screw because otherwise it would just fall out on its own. Insert the board, then screw or nail it in. Lunch break is over. Before eating, I explained the corner profile. You insert one board, then the other, and I can assemble my whole panel. Once the panel is finished for the other side, I put the corner profile back again. So I insert the profile into the boards I just installed, and then I start again with the siding. And we go all the way around like that. We install the corner profiles as we go, because if you put them on both the right and left sides, you'll get stuck trying to insert the boards. So I came to get the starter profiles, which are nothing more than the top and bottom tongues of a board, so I'll be able to take them. My cladding board, I place it on the profile and it holds by itself, so we'll screw or nail it directly onto the half rafters. The starter profile really needs to be the base of the half rafter. That's why we make the corner profile stick out by 1 centimeter. Because if I flip the starter profile with the board sticks out by 1 centimeter, so I'll come to the same level as the corner profile. So there's nothing special about it. We'll screw it directly onto the half rafters. We do the whole perimeter, and then we can start installing the boards. A few things. I came for nails, want to discuss the nail gun, circular saw, and especially the paint from James Hardie. It's exactly the same color as your siding, whether it's white, grey or black, they provide you with this little can of paint. So this can of paint will be used to protect the edge when we cut the board. The current setup means I have a full board, I slide it into the profile, and then I continue with another board. So I'm edge to edge with the boards straight from the factory, so the edges are already protected. I cut at 1.70 meters, and then I take my 1.70 meters and slide them back into the corner profile. But you have to protect the cut. We'll use a small roller to apply paint, and you'll notice it dries quickly. And if you have a blade that has just been cut and you start again with another off cut, for example, and an edge, even if you apply the paint, there's no need to wait for it to dry. You can apply them next to each other and it works very well. Okay, so this paint, the small can, you should even keep it over time. Because you're not safe from making a scratch on the siding or passing by with the lawnmower. A shovel hit, I don't really know. We'll be glad to take a small brush and do the little touch up that works well. So, the small can, we keep the nails. The nail gun, you've seen me playing with it for a while now. Honestly, it's like a real toy. You shouldn't put that in my hands because I just want a nail everywhere. So, this nail gun from Milwaukee, it's the reference. FFN, I don't remember what else, you'll find the link in the description. For the magazine, you load the nail like this. I'll put them in the right direction. You pull, there you go, you're ready to nail. The battery, so here it's a 5 amp battery, that's more than enough. It's not power hungry at all. I could use a 9 amp or 12 amp battery. The magazine, as you saw, 30-34 degrees. What can I tell you about the nails? Maximum length is 90 and the diameter goes from 2.8 to 3, I think. So it also comes in stainless steel, which is perfect for outdoor use. You can use it, well, galvanized works very well, but the best is stainless steel. On the other hand, the price, yeah, it's a bit steep. There we go, and now we're ready to go. The screw works well. If there's no channel, use your screwdriver with the screws from James Hardie or use the channel. As I mentioned, it's very quick. That's why I use this little gadget. The circular steel, always Milwaukee. Today, it's all Milwaukee. So we adjust the cutting depth, that's standard. The tilt, 45 degrees. It's battery powered. Here it's a 9 amp battery because honestly, it's better to use a big battery for this. Otherwise you'll drain them one after another because this really uses a lot of power, much more than a nail gun. What else can I tell you? It's super light, it's powerful. The handle, look, you see. So, if I can get it out, the hook, if you want to hang it on your belt, the little key to loosen the blade, everything is right there. It's great. Honestly, being battery powered really changes everything. Of course, you need to use a vacuum because otherwise it flies everywhere, especially the fiber cement. It's not really good to breathe it in, even if there's no asbestos for your health. Always use a vacuum when you're cutting, whether it's with a circular saw, a grinder, whatever, always take a vacuum with you. Okay, all these little gadgets. You'll find the links in the description, the nail gun, the circular saw, and the stapler. I mentioned them earlier. I told you today, it's all Milwaukee. Alright, we'll stop here for the garden shed. We've made good progress. I didn't film the neighbor's side to respect their privacy. Now back to the profiles. They're white, like the polyvinyl chloride. As you saw by the door, I can't put siding everywhere, James Hardy, or the door won't open. And even at the roof overhang, if I put siding there, the door just won't open at all, since I had lowered the polyvinyl chloride as much as possible. That was a mistake I made back then. So, a white profile works for me. But if you want a profile the same color as your siding, it exists. So, the next step for the shed is to redo the roof and the roof overhang with James Hardy siding. Except for the underside, I'll keep that white. That will match the profiles. And on top, I had put corrugated bitumen sheets. One of them is cracked and another one is sagging, so they need to be replaced. I'll replace them with another system, probably at the end of August or early September. We'll discuss James Hardy siding then. And I'm also going to, continuing from the shed, since my neighbor had put up privacy screens, put up James Hardy siding. It's about 7 meters, so it will give me continuity with the shed and the same siding. So this video is now finished. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, share and comment. See you soon for the next part of the bathroom work. A parallel partition in the bathroom will create a small laundry room for me, where there will be the thermodynamic water heater, the manifolds and the water inlets. And most importantly, access to the crawl space, since I have to move the hatch. So quite a bit of work ahead. Thank you for watching this video. We'll see each other very soon, and in the meantime, take care.